everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone has their coffee, their water, whatever your preference is. This is a really exciting webinar that I am proud to be doing today as part of National Retirement Security Month. My name is Yvonne Downs. I am SJCERA's Communications Officer. So for today, this is going to be, like I said, a little bit different. It's a 30-minute presentation, 15 minutes, and then hopefully we'll have enough time too for Q&A. But the main thing is I wanted to have you guys download this Planning for Your Retirement Workbook, because towards the end of the presentation, we'll be kind of walking through it together. So with that, I'm just going to kind of flip over to the title screen real quick. If you didn't get a chance to scan the QR code and download it, it is on our website as well. And what I can do is I'll show it probably after the presentation of where you can find it in case you didn't get to download it. I'll have pictures on the screen of that will correspond with the pages we talk about, but let's go ahead and get started. One other thing is this is being recorded, so once we are done today, I will edit it really quickly and put it on our YouTube page for you to view at any time in the future. Okay, so welcome everyone again to Retirement 101, Planning Your Retirement. I see there are a good group of people in here, a little bit smaller, but I'm actually really glad that you guys are joining with us today. So, okay, a few housekeeping rules. So at the very bottom of your screen, you'll see there's a little like Q&A box. It should look like a little speech bubble with a question mark. That is going to be kind of like your hub. If you have any questions you would like to ask, we will have one of our retirement services associate on today. No, not associate, sorry, retirement service officer, Ron, will be joining us today, and he will help to answer any questions that you guys may have. Please save your questions towards the end of the presentation. I will give you guys kind of like a cue on when you could put your questions in, and that's just so we don't get multiple questions that are the same, at least to try to help limit that kind of interaction or over asking there. Any unanswered questions, if we get to the end of the presentation and there are some unanswered questions, we've run out of time for whatever reason, we will be releasing an FAQ page. That is if we have any unanswered questions. If all our questions get answered, great. But if there are any unanswered questions, we want to make sure that those are answered in a separate FAQ, and that will be posted on our website as well for you guys. The last housekeeping rule is to just please keep questions general. At the end of the day, we don't want to reveal any confidential information in the chat. This chat is open to everyone that is in the attendees list. So please keep questions general. If there's something specific that you would like to ask regarding your specific retirement, we encourage you to reach out to our office and we'd be able to answer anything that's more specific to you. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Our agenda today, so we're going to talk about who SJCERA is, how SJCERA works. We're going to go over this concept of a three-legged stool, making the most of your retirement, and then at the end, like I said, we'll be walking through together the Planning Your Retirement Workbook. And a lot of this might be a refresher for you guys if you were closer to retirement. If you are relatively further away from retirement, maybe this is something that is really new to you, and great job getting a head start on that. So just bear with me as I go through who we are essentially. So SJCERA, we are the San Joaquin County Employees Retirement Association, and we are your dedicated partner delivering retirement services with care. So we handle the pension that essentially you are earning as you are working for the county or any of the other 9 employers that we have that we serve. One of the big things, so we provide the lifetime monetary pension benefits to public employees of San Joaquin County in retirement, and of course the other 9 employers as well. And there's a list of employers on our website if you're curious as to who else is within our it is covered under us. SJCERA eligibility. So membership is mandatory if you are hitting 1,560 payroll hours within a calendar year. You are required to have a membership with us. The only exceptions are if you enter membership at 60 years or older, you can opt out, as well as elected officials have the option to opt in to our system. All right. So now we're gonna just go really quick through how it kind of works. So it's really important for you to know which tier level you are in our system. The reason for that is because your tier level is gonna determine what, a couple things. It's gonna determine how much you are contributing on a monthly basis. It's gonna determine your benefit formula, how that's calculated, and a few other things that we'll go into, including like retirement eligibility. So your tier 1 is you are enrolled into SJCERA membership before January 1st, 2013, or you were enrolled into a California public retirement system before January 1st, 2013 and established reciprocity with us. So for example, if you, let's say you started working at SJCERA, or you started working in Stanislaus County and you were covered under SJCERA, and then let's say that you started there in 2010, and then you just got a job with San Joaquin County. Now you're covered under SJCERA in 2016 by establishing reciprocity. That allows you to be within the tier 1 system. Tier 2, enrolled into SJCERA membership on or after January 1st, 2013, or you were enrolled into a covered California public agency on or after January 1st, 2013 and established reciprocity with us. So myself, I am a tier 2. I started it was not that long ago. What was last year? 2024. It's been a little over a year. I feel like it's been longer, but it really hasn't. So I am a tier 2 because I started in 2024. Okay. So then tier 1 members, like I said, that tier level is going to determine vesting and eligibility. There is another part of this too, whether you are general or safety. So that is dependent upon your job. So for example, your safety members are going to be your firefighters. It's going to be, sheriff's office, and there's a list of that as well on our website. If you are unsure, you can always go look at that. So, and then everyone else is general. So tier 1 general members under the vesting and eligibility for retirement, you must be at least vested 5 years, or vested at 5 years, but have at least 10 years of service in order to retire at the minimum age of 50. For safety, you can retire at any age with at least 20 years of service. And then age 70 plus, it can be any years of service at that point. The benefit formula for tier 1 members, and this is across the board, whether you're general or safety, your benefit formula is your years of service and times your age at retirement, your 1 year highest final compensation. So these are the different factors that go into calculating your retirement. The one thing that I wanted to put on here is just remember that there is a cap. So in planning your retirement, if you make over a certain amount of money in your salary, it's by law, SJCERA is capped at what salary we can use in your calculation. So for a lot of people who make over that specific amount, it's going to have an effect on what benefit you're getting in retirement. So just keep that in mind, that if you make over that cap annually, that there might be a little bit of a difference in your retirement benefit. For tier 2 members, again, there's the safety and the general. For vesting and eligibility for general members, vested at 5 years, we must have at least 5 years of service, and the minimum age to retire is 52. For our safety members, the minimum age is 50 with at least 5 years of service. For the benefit formula for tier 2 members, it also is a little bit different, but it's across the board for the general and safety of tier 2. It's going to include your years of service, so that's the same. The age of retirement is another factor. And then the one that's a little bit different is instead of the 1 year highest final compensation, we look at the 3 years for the tier 2. Now, for the highest final compensation, there is a difference depending upon your general and your safety when it comes to the annual cap. So for the general, it's going to be 155. For safety, it's 186. And again, remember, this is by law. So if you make over this amount after a certain time, like essentially contributions are being stopped because you have hit that annual cap that we are allowed to base your retirement on. Okay. So because of that cap, because there is that whole thing with after a certain amount, your retirement is not going to be based off of whatever you make after that cap. There's this thing called the three-legged stool. So when you are planning for retirement, when you are looking at how you're going to retire, what things that you want to do, a lot of the times people maybe only think about their 401k. They might only think and rely on Social Security, but in reality, we like to think of it as a three-legged stool, right? You have your retirement is the base, and then each leg represents Social Security, personal savings like deferred comp, 401k, and then your pension. So all three kind of work together to give you a sustainable retirement. So let's look at that real quick. So how it kind of works. So SJCERA, we're the defined benefit plan, where the pension, it is pre-taxed. The employee and the employer go in on a percentage. So they buy in on a percentage. So while you contribute, your employer is also contributing on your behalf. And we are a guaranteed monthly retirement benefit regardless of contribution amount. Okay. So once you hit that vested, that 5 years, you are guaranteed a lifetime benefit in retirement. Now, deferred comp, I know that it is offered by Nationwide for the county. For other employers, such as the courts, it's a little bit, it's a different organization that offers that. This is your 457 plan. There is employee buy-in. Sometimes, depending upon the employer might do like an optional match. I know, like when I used to work at a different organization, it was like a 2% match for every 2% that I put in. So there's always that option of employer matching, but it's not always guaranteed. This grows tax deferred until your retirement, and typically it's contributions in plus investment returns determines how much you get out. Okay. Social Security, that's the federal program. This is based on earnings throughout your career. It pays through payroll taxes, and then of course typically covers 40% of your income. So like I said, all three of these kind of work together to provide a sustainable retirement for you. All right, so now we're going to dive in a little bit to how to make the most of your retirement. These are just some really quick tips that you can kind of think of when you're thinking about that phase. Okay. And they're going to kind of correspond to the Planning Your Retirement Workbook. So once we're done with this, we'll dive into the workbook. We'll talk a little bit more about how this tool can help you. So tips for you to remember: you're going to want to define your retirement goals. You're going to want to think about your retirement dates, because sometimes your date, if it's before a certain time, so for example, with our COLAs, if you retire prior to April 1st, then you would get that COLA for the year. If you retire after April 1st, it would have to take you until the next April to get that COLA. So really think about what that means to you, and thinking about your retirement dates. Thinking about supplementing your income. Keeping track of additional finances, again, the deferred comp, the personal savings, etc. And then the last is trying to create a retirement budget for yourself for this next phase. Okay. So at this point, if you would like to ask any questions in the Q&A, you are more than welcome to. I'm going to flip to the next slide, and we are going to look at the Planning for Retirement Workbook. Okay. So if you've downloaded the workbook, you can see here that it's planning for your retirement workbook. This is the front page. This is what you should see. Moving on, just quick table of contents. So going through, you're going to have goals. We're going to talk about your current finances. We're going to talk about calculating your retirement. We're going to talk about building your retirement budget. And then, of course, you're staying on track here. And then this is just a little kind of just giving you an idea of what this tool is actually here for you, why it's here for you. We really hope that this workbook would help you to kind of get into the habit of thinking about these things that might surprise you when you get to retirement. And really thinking about what you want your retirement to look like. That's the big thing with this workbook, is because sometimes people retire and they're like, gosh, I don't know what to do. And there's so many things that you can do. And the more that you plan for it prior to retirement, I think the more successful that you will be. Okay, so we're going to start off really envisioning your goals. Like, what is it that you want to do in retirement? Prior to getting to the numbers, let's not talk about that right now. Let's just talk about what you want to do. And here are a few like reflections to think about. Like, what do you want to do in retirement? Where do you want to live? Do you want to move? I know that there are a few people that I have met that they're like, oh, I want a house on the beach. I want to move to the East Coast. I want, so what does that look like for you? What are some activities or hobbies that you want to do? Some people, I have a coworker who his father is currently, he just came back actually, but he took a whole trip to like Alaska to go look at polar bears. And I'm like, that's so random, but that's so cool. Like, what are some of your activities and your hobbies that you really want to dive into? And then, of course, your financial goals. Do you want to buy a new property and invest in that? Are you looking to maybe do go travel, once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year? What does that look like exactly for you? So really, really thinking about that, I think, is the first step to identifying what you really want within retirement. And that is then going to lead you into the next piece. Like I said, I'm going to go a little bit faster. So if you can't fill it in as I'm talking, that is totally okay. Let's go to the next one. Now we're going to look at your current finances. So looking at what you currently make prior to retirement, and kind of just tracking this as you go. So what is your total monthly net income? What is your total monthly expenses? Look at what your current retirement savings are. Your 401k, if you have Nationwide, I know they have an app. Just go on there, look to see what that looks like currently. Sorry, that was deferred compensation, not 401k, but deferred comp, any other personal savings. If you have a savings account that you're putting aside, look into that. Or if you have anything else that you're thinking, any other kind of retirement savings, if there's like any kind of trust fund or anything like that, just kind of dump it all in here to kind of get an idea of what this is going to look like for you. Total outstanding debts, then you're going to look at what your mortgage is, what any kind of loans, anything like that that you're thinking of, either is going on right now. If they're going to be paid in retirement, great. If they're going to be paid prior to retirement, also great. But just really keeping track of that, tracking your net worth, seeing what that's at, and then looking at the reflection of, does the whole of the finances align with what you put for your goals in the previous page? And if so, how can you maintain motivation to keep on track? I know like things happen all the time that we don't really expect, but what are some things to keep you on track? And if not, what are some ways to make it align with your goals? Whether it's setting more in your deferred compensation or more within your savings. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Okay, so calculating then your retirement in terms of SJCERA. We have an online benefits calculator on our website that you can utilize. And this is just to keep track to make sure you know what it is that you are. So for example, if you were a tier 1, check the tier 1 box. If you are a general member, check the general box. What's your goal for retirement age? What's your total years of service that's going to calculate out to? Looking at your monthly final average comp, that gross number amount, total monthly SJCERA allowance. So if you put in the tier level, the membership type, the retirement age, all of that, it's going to spit out a number, and that's going to be an estimate on what you can expect in retirement with SJCERA. If that doesn't align, what's your overall retirement income that you're wanting? Your estimated monthly saving need to supplement income if it doesn't align, remember, and then your total annual savings needed in that. And looking at, have you accounted for possible long-term care, other unexpected costs, such as healthcare and things like that. Okay. Now it's going to be about building your budget. So creating a budget such as your total monthly needs, housing, food, utilities, total monthly wants. Again, if you're wanting to travel, any kind of entertainment, any hobbies that you're wanting to do, what's that monthly dollar amount that's going to go into that? Understanding healthcare costs, an emergency fund. If you need an emergency fund, what is that dollar amount that you're going to want to have there? And then expected annual savings withdrawal rate from, oh my goodness, your personal savings. So does this seem like a reasonable budget? Does your monthly wants exceed your monthly necessities? How can you motivate yourself to stick to this budget, and really kind of getting to the habit of understanding this budget for yourself, your wants, your needs, your goals, and making sure it all kind of aligns. And then last but not least, staying on track checklist. So this is to help you guys planning for your retirement, but making sure to regularly visit this plan. So don't just use this tool once. If you're a little bit further away from retirement, maybe this is a 5-year thing that you do. You reassess your goals, reassess your finances. If you are 2 years away from retirement, I mean, hey, use it every 6 months, every year, whatever you need to do. But just making sure that you revisit this plan and revisit and readjust for what you need to. Monitor your savings rate. If you're falling behind, increasing your contributions, setting up automatic contributions to your retirement accounts, and then avoid dipping into retirement savings for short-term needs is also something to make sure. On this page too, there is a QR code for our social media where we have educational materials there for you to utilize, as well as a QR code for any upcoming webinars. This is going to take you to our retirement planning page on our website for you. So at the end of the day, we really hope that this tool helps you to get to the habit of planning for your retirement. We hope it will provide use to you. If you have any questions, like I said, drop them in the Q&A and then we'll get to rolling there. Before I hand it over to Ron, I just want to let you guys know that we are located at 220 East Channel Street in Stockton. Our phone number is 209-468-2163, and you can always contact us at that email there. Contact us at sjcera.org. And like I said, follow us. Make sure to follow us on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We are always posting educational content. If you are closer to retirement, we just finished wrapping and posting our I've Decided to Retire Now What video series. It's about a five video series. Each video is about 3 to 5 minutes long, and you can watch that full playlist on our YouTube page. And it walks you through essentially the entire retirement process, from I've decided on a date to filling out the paperwork to after retirement and what you can expect.